Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sonic Stories Podcast, Episode 5, Mary's Little Lamb, where we talked about... What did we talk about? We talked about E3, Feel Free to Pitch in,
Scared.
Flash. What? What was that?
Scared.
We talked about The Watcher, and we did some more scary stories.
Yeah.
So, hope you enjoy.
And-
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Sonic Stories Podcast, and I'm here with... And that was the podcast.
Michael, yeah.
Also known as Flash1153. So, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm in Boston right now, but it's not a vacation. Like, my dad works here, so nothing much has been going on.
Alright. Nothing much has been going on for me either since school ended. I've just been, playing Overwatch, sleeping, and kept doing that and end this cycle. Well...
Yeah.
Since...
So I realized...
What'd you realize?
On Overwatch, you can only play competitive if you're level 25 and above.
What level are you?
18.
Okay, well, when competitive comes out, we should, try and get you to level 25 so we can all play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since we haven't been doing much, let's get into some gaming news. Oh. So.
Yeah.
You know a big thing that just happened recently? E3 just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
I heard, Zelda was, the biggest game there.
Dude, it was crazy. I only watched, some... I didn't watch all the conferences. I watched Bethesda, Sony, and, parts of Nintendo. And I'd say all those three guys did pretty well with stuff. There's gonna be new stuff, new DLC for, Fallout 4, and, apparently, Fallout 4 and Skyrim are gonna be compatible with VR soon.
Ooh, that'll be sick.
That'll be fun. I'm not sure how they're gonna do that, but I hope it works out well. What else happened in Bethesda?
Well, a lot of people aren't really excited about the new Call of Duty coming out.
I think it looks alright for another Call of Duty game. They showed a quick demo of it at the Sony conference, and I think it looked pretty cool. They were flying ships and stuff, and gravity grenades and crazy stuff like that started happening. All that.
So there was a Batman Arkham VR too.
Yeah, that looked really cool. So basically, Sony they were showing VR stuff, and they showed this they showed a kind of teaser, a trailer just showing Batman, and we didn't know it was VR at the time until at the end it said Batman Arkham VR, and it was at the end it was hashtag wear the cowl or something. That's really cool. Apparently it's gonna be all the detective mode stuff in the other Arkham games, except you're in VR, and that's gonna be really cool. What else happened?
Halo Wars 2.
Oh yeah, that's the Halo real-time strategy game. That's StarCraft,
yeah.
I think.
I had Halo Wars 1, and it was I sent it back.
Did you not like it?
Bad. No, it was, to me it wasn't my kind of game. I thought it'd be fun. At the time I was really young, so my parents wouldn't let me get Halo, so that was the only Halo that was rated.
Interesting.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, there was a Kingdom Hearts 2.8 trailer that got announced, and people were crazy for that, and I was crazy for that because it's hard to explain if you don't know Kingdom Hearts that well, but basically a character that we thought was dead kind of showed up last minute for a split second in the trailer, and everybody went crazy for it.
Yeah. So I
And
see Pokemon Go got announced, but it says
there was just
release.
like a quick Q&A, like question and answer. But
Yeah,
one of the questions was like they were talking about the that little like they have like a little badge type thing that like called like the
yeah,
Pokemon Go Plus. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a
yeah.
little thing you carry around. They were talking about how that works and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. And like one of the questions they got asked was like, when is the Pokemon Go Plus gonna be released? And
Oh,
Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of like Pokemon and Mario and all that, he said end of July. So people are like speculating that the game is gonna
I'm
come
looking.
out sometime before that. And
I'm looking at the release date of Pokemon Go, and it says TBA 2016. I don't know what TBA is.
to be
You know?
announced because it's not really confirmed. They said the
Oh,
Pokemon Go Plus, that little thing, is gonna come out at the end of July, and people are gonna think
uh,
Pokemon Go is coming out around that too because it'd be weird if they like let you buy the thing before the game is even out yet.
a long time ago, I heard that the that guy you said, the
Yeah, Miyamoto.
Miyamoto, he is not working on Mario anymore.
Hmm. I wonder what that is. He's probably trying
Yeah.
to think of new things to come up with because I'm pretty sure everybody else at Nintendo can handle like Mario. They probably got ideas and stuff.
We
What
want to
was what? You can go.
we want to do like news, like not just video game news.
Okay, what? I only know video game news. So what news do you have?
Um, this guy got STDs, and his girlfriend
People get.
ran him over
Okay,
and
okay,
killed.
okay. Please explain to me what this is.
Okay, so this guy tested positive for STDs,
Okay, okay.
and the girl has is his girlfriend, and she thought he was gonna die. I'm not gonna explain why, and
Mhm.
um, she ran him over and killed him on purpose
Hmm. Interesting.
because she was really mad.
That's a crazy story. Which reminds me, it's
That,
time to do a short, scary story. All right.
oh,
I'm on Reddit. I'm on Reddit right now, and I'm on reddit.com/r/short scary stories. And the first one up is called "Don't Worry, They're Watching." This should be a good one. Okay. It was in the year 2047 when the government released the drones. Hovering technology had finally been applied en masse, and due to rising crime rates, the new internal defense system was widely welcomed as the next step in securing our citizens' safety. The drones were small, roundish objects with a single eye, and people became accustomed to being recorded in public rather quickly. Propaganda posters went up nationwide, though they weren't terribly necessary given how quickly crime rates plummeted. All across every city and town, one motto rang true: don't worry, they're watching. It was, I believe, about 10 years later when I found myself walking down a dark street after a long day in the office. Years ago, I've been worried about rapists or muggers, but now that they were watching, it was just another night. Until I saw him. A seemingly average-looking man in a trench coat followed me closely for blocks. I turned into an alley, taking note of the drones following me, planning to confront him and remind him he was on camera. Listen, creep, they're watching. Nothing you can do, so just quit following me, alright? I swear it all happened so fast. Mid sentence, I gasped, looking down to see that the knife was cutting open my side. Dark blood poured out and coated his hand, which he retracted before stabbing me a second time. I fell, grasping my wounds, choking out. But they're watching. As he kneeled down, a smile crept across his face. He turned to a drone and winked, watching it turn and focus on me. My wounds, my face. The man stabbed me again and bent down to whisper in my ears. Oh, I'm counting on it. They're paying quite the fortune to have it recorded. The end. So that was a
Dan?
thing.
So I'm confused on what happened. First there were drones, and then there was a guy stabbing a person to death.
Okay, so year 2047, government released drones, and like they're everywhere now. So crime has plummeted because of drones. And this guy is walking down an alley, and walking down an alley, and notices a guy behind him. Like, and the guy's like, "Oh, he can't do anything. There's drones everywhere. It's fine. He's not gonna be he's not gonna do anything
And then
crazy." And like yeah. Then he gets stabbed, and like, wait, but the drones are watching, and the guy's like, I know, they're paying me to kill you, or something like that.
Wow. Okay. I've got one.
All right.
So, one cold winter night, 16-year-old girl named Brittany Snow was home alone watching TV. Her parents had gone out to a dinner party at a friend's house. It had been snowing heavily all afternoon, but Brittany felt nice and snug as she sat on the sofa in the lounge, tucked under a warm, fuzzy blanket. By midnight, Brittany's parents were still not home, and she began to feel uneasy. She didn't want to call them in case they thought that she couldn't take care of herself. Television was in the corner of the room, right next to the big bay window. She was watching one of her favorite movies, a horror film named. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye,
Wait. Can
she
you
noticed
repeat the
something.
name of the film because it just got cut off?
Prom night.
Okay.
When suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she noticed something moving in the bay window. Through the darkness and the falling snow, she could make out a figure of a man walking towards the window. As he got closer, she was able to make out a face, and it filled her with horror. The man's face was hideously scarred. His eyes were wild and crazy, and he seemed to be grinning maliciously at her. Frightened, Brittany pulled the fuzzy blanket over her head and tried to hide. She hardly dared to move. Slowly she pulled the blanket aside just enough to peer out with one eye. The man was still there. He was just standing there, staring directly at her as the snow fell behind him. Then he reached into his coat and pulled something out. It was a long knife. Terrified, Brittany pulled the blanket back over her head and hoped that madman would think it was just a pile of blankets sitting on the sofa. She managed to move her hand slowly over to her pocket and took out her mobile phone. Pressing the buttons in a panic, she dialed 911 and held her breath, and she waited for an answer. When the operator asked, What is your emergency?" Brittany put the phone close to her face and whispered, "There's a man outside my window. He's got a knife. Please come quickly." She sat motionless under the blanket as the minutes ticked by. Eventually she heard sirens outside and the police started banging on her front door. Brittany pulled off the blanket and rushed to the front door, letting the two police officers inside. They said they had no trace of anyone outside her house. "He was right there," said Brittany, pointing out the bay window to her snow-covered front lawn. "That's not possible," said the female officer. "There couldn't have been anyone standing out there. The snow is completely undisturbed. If there was someone out there, they would have left footprints. But he was standing right there, staring straight at me," said Brittany. "I saw him with my own two eyes." "You know, your eyes can play tricks on you," said the male officers. "Maybe you've been watching too many scary stories." The officer turned to leave when all of a sudden the female officer stopped dead in her tracks. She pulled back the sofa that Brittany had been sitting on. Her jaw dropped and her eyes widened in shock. Brittany and the male police officer gasped. On the carpet behind the sofa, there was a trail of wet footprints and a discarded knife. "You weren't looking at the man outside the window," said the female officer. "You were looking at his reflection. He was standing right behind you all along."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy. Spooks. That was actually pretty good. I did not expect that. I expected him to be disguised or something. All right, let's do one more, and let's get back to gaming news and stuff. So
Yeah. But wait, so what I don't get is where did the man go?
he's still there. Whoa. I don't know. He might be still there or stuff. I don't know.
I've
So
got something.
this is the top scary story on Reddit. It was submitted
Yeah.
2 years ago by Horror in Pure Form, and it has 2,597 upvotes. So let's read it. It's called "I Hate It When My Brother Charlie Has to Go Away." Okay.
Whoa.
So, I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. My parents constantly try to explain to me how sick he is, that I'm lucky for having a brain where all the chemicals flow properly to their destinations like undammed rivers. When I complain about how bored I am without my little brother to play with, they try to make me feel bad by pointing out that his boredom likely far surpasses mine, considering he's confined to a dark room in the institution. I always beg for them to give him one last chance. Of course, they did at first. Charlie has been back home several times, each shorter in duration than the last. Every time without fail, it all starts again. The neighborhood cats with gouged eyes start showing up in his toy chest. My dad's razors found dropped on the baby slide in the park across the street. Mom's vitamins replaced by bits of dishwater tablets. My parents are hesitant now, using last chances sparingly. They say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easier for him to fake normalcy, and to trick doctors who care for him into thinking he is ready for rehabilitation, that I will just have to put up with my boredom if it means staying safe from him. I hate it when Charlie has to go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he's back. Whoa. That's kind of confusing.
So I've got one more scary story, but it's a very, very quick one. It's like a joke scary story.
Okay.
You awaken, you look around you, and you're in an empty room. You start trying to find your way out, but all the doors are sealed. The only thing you have is a small window that turns out to be sealed as well. But you look around once again. You find something so bittersweet. All the video game consoles known to man, a beautiful television set, and great gaming laptops. But no discs anywhere in sight. And what is worse, you have no internet.
Oh my god. That is terrifying.
I know, right?
I'd kill myself. Okay, so back to gaming news, back to E3. What more stuff happened? Like, Sony, Resident Evil 7. Sony released, presented Resident Evil 7 with a big surprise, and that is also going to be coming out in VR. And
what about the PlayStation VR?
What about the PlayStation VR?
Wait, it's already out?
No.
Oh.
It's coming out October 29th, 30th, somewhere around there.
But
when is it? 13th? I think it was something with a 3. PlayStation VR. That's coming out like sometime October. I think it's the 13th.
But it says you could buy it right now on the internet.
You can pre-order it. It's not out yet. When is it released?
Okay.
Exact date. It's coming out October 13th, 2016.
Oh, okay.
They also revealed the new God of War game, and that was pretty crazy. It was like the first thing they showed, but we didn't know it was new God of War game. It was the trailer, like the first few minutes were like a little boy like whittling arrows and stuff, and then like someone was just like, boy, come here, and like the boy started like going towards the voice and stuff, and then like they revealed Kratos, and the whole crowd lost their shit. It was crazy. You could hear the applause and craziness from the stream. It was really cool.
Who is Kratos?
He's the God of War guy.
Oh, I've never seen God of War, so.
Never ever.
Well, no, I haven't.
I'm sure
I
you've
would
like
think I would.
seen Kratos before. You probably just maybe not have known it was from God of War.
Kratos.
Kratos.
Oh,
You've seen
I've
it.
seen him before.
Yeah, but this time he has a beard. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
And apparently
for
God of
some
War is
reason,
no longer Greek and Roman. It is Norse now. They're switching mythologies.
Kratos seems like a guy that should be in that should be in
Should be in.
um I don't remember. It's a 10 or they have 11 now. 11 of them. Oh, okay. Um
uh
Mortal Kombat. He looks like he
Mortal
should be in
Kombat.
more.
He
Looks
was
like
in
he
a few
should be in
fighting
Mortal.
games. He was in. I'm not sure if I was right. He was in a fighting game. Which one was it? Hold on. I remember he showed up in a fighting game. I do not remember what it was. It was. Uh. He actually. Um. He actually was
It
in
says
Mortal Kombat once. He actually was in Mortal
he
Kombat
was.
was. Um.
Oh wow.
But what I was
I
thinking
was
of
like,
was Soul Calibur. Yeah, I'm watching.
uh,
Yeah, I'm watching a thing now. Kratos
he
and
looks like
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching
What
the
about the
video
new?
now. Jeez. Yep, he was in that.
Wow. What about the new Xbox One S? The
I don't think there's too much to say about that. It's big. It's
it's
smaller.
super fast and slim,
It's smaller.
but it's less money.
It costs less.
You can make your own controllers.
Yeah, that's cool. It plays video at 4K, but it didn't say it
Yeah.
ran games at 4K. It only showed.
No, it does.
It only
I
showed
thought
a
it
Netflix.
ran.
It only
I thought
said
I read something. It said it showed like everything in 4K if you had the right TV for it.
Well,
That's what I.
TVs do that anyway, though. You don't need TVs like normally do that anyway.
Oh
The
really?
4K TVs just like make the thing bigger. They do that. Yeah, 4K TVs do that anyway. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
So.
The Oculus came out with like a better Oculus Rift.
Tell me about that, because I did not hear about that at all.
Well, I just remember hearing that here. New Oculus Rift. Yeah, I used one at Best Buy. I went to Best Buy one day and they had an exhibit of the Oculus Rift, and I like used it. It was like amazing.
I don't see anything about the new Oculus Rift.
Oh, well, never mind. Like I
Yeah.
thought there was a new one because I was watching a YouTuber and he said this new one is much better than the old one.
Well, yeah,
Like
because
he
the
said,
old one they were just like development kits. They were giving out Oculus Rift development kits, and it actually just came out now, so it's the actual finished thing now.
okay, now that makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about Zelda, because that was like all Nintendo did. That was basically their whole thing at E3. It's all they did, and it looks really cool. I gotta admit, I'm really hyped for Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is called. It looks really cool.
I've never actually had a Zelda game. Never have been interested.
Get out. But this looks pretty cool. It's more open world than other Zelda games. Like, you can actually, like, from the start, you can actually head to the final boss from the beginning. You can
What?
actually just walk straight up to the final boss.
Wow.
So yeah, it's that open world, and the world is the map of this new Zelda game is huge. Cause in the E3 demo they only let you explore this like one little area, and they're like it's only a fraction of the map, but that one area is huge, and there's like 4 different like climates in that one area. There's like a snowy mountain zone in that area. There's like a normal grass plain zone, and there's probably other stuff that I can't remember.
Is it like an open world kind of thing, or?
Yeah, it's open world, and like there's kind of like survival elements, because if you go into the cold area without the right if you go in the clothes area without the cold area without the right clothes, you'll actually like start losing health unless you get like a cold proof shirt and stuff like that. Crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
So
you can like ride on your shield, like that.
is
You
it
can,
as
like, ski down mountains. I was watching it for a while. It looks pretty crazy.
is it as big as Terra, like the Terra map, or is it bigger?
And I do not know.
Like, remember the Terra map where there were continents?
Well, a lot of MMOs have a thing like that, but I'm not sure how it compares. I'm not
Apparently,
sure.
the first Zelda was Oracle of Ages.
What?
Apparently, the first Zelda is Oracle of Ages.
That is untrue.
Really?
First Zelda was The Legend of Zelda.
Oh.
What are you
What was
reading? Oracle of
I
Ages
looked
was like a
up on
Game Boy
YouTube,
game, wasn't it?
I looked up on YouTube. Oh, well, never mind. I saw.
Oracle
Never
of
mind.
Ages. Yeah, it's a Game Boy game. Oracle of Ages.
There's two, like, I'm so confused what I'm looking at. Never mind. Never mind.
Alright, well, they also showed Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff at E3. They didn't show much. They just showed like a quick, probably like an hour of like people playing it and people talking about it. It looks they did add some stuff. It has some new stuff, and it looks pretty good. I'm not that much into Pokemon anymore, but if I was,
Yeah.
I'd be really excited, cuz now you can like see, like, if you use like Tail Whip and like their defense decreases, you can actually keep a tracker on that, on how much time, or on how much their defense went down and stuff like that. And you can like see their stats and stuff more clearly now and stuff. And the battle menu actually looks pretty more. I can't talk. The battle menu, I think, is probably one of the best I've ever seen. To be honest, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So I might get it, but I might not. I'm not into Pokemon that much anymore, like you said. But it looks really interesting because there's like this new Mew thing.
This new Mew thing? What?
Like, I'll send you a picture of it. It's cool. I don't know if this is just like fan art or something, but
Okay.
there.
I have no idea what this is.
I sent you the link.
I know. I saw.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like a Mew, but not at the same time.
I have no idea what this is.
There's like 2 pictures of it.
I'm trying to figure it out now.
Maybe for the video you should flash the
what is
picture of
this?
The starters look sick.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I'm still trying to figure out what this thing is.
Especially the water and the fire one. Looks
Pop,
sick
pop, Poplio and Litten.
and Litten.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is. I'm just gonna give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. If I don't put a picture of it up on the video, I'll have a link to it in the description that you guys can check out. So, what else happened at E3?
Celebrating 20 years.
What?
It's celebrating 20 years of Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon 20th anniversary. They've been doing stuff like that this whole year. Like every Pokemon every month you can get like a free legendary Pokemon. And they've been doing that. Yeah. Beginning it was like the beginning, like somewhere around the beginning of the year, around like January, it was like Mew or something. I already got my two. I got Mew and Celebi, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. Who is the Pokemon for this month? I'm gonna go check. In case anybody's interested. Because I keep forgetting how the Pokemon, which Pokemon it is. Oh, not legendary Pokemon, mythical Pokemon. And this month it is Shaman.
Ooh, Shaman's pretty cool.
Oh wait, that's not this month. That's in July. It is June 27th right now, but it might be July when it comes out, when this video comes out. Right July, now it is Manaphy. It is Manaphy.
I hate that Pokemon. That's the worst.
And it comes with Tail Glow, Bubble, and Water Sport and stuff like that. And you have
2 forms.
And you can get it from the Nintendo Network by just connecting. But for Shaman, I think you have to go to GameStop to get your code. Nope, I think it's just, that's also Nintendo Network. I remember Mew, you had to go to GameStop to get your code, and
yeah.
I am not sure actually.
Didn't JJ like?
Yeah, I had to beg him to go to. He said he was going to GameStop to get a code. I had to beg him to get another code for me.
Mm-hmm.
But on August, Arceus, you can get Arceus.
Oh, nice.
But you have to get to GameStop. Like, you have to go to GameStop.
Million forms.
Yeah, man. Judgment.
Like,
is Judgment.
His like ultimate form, I think, is like. I don't
September
even know. There
is Victini. Everybody remembers Victini.
Victini. Oh my god.
October is Keldeo. Everybody loves Keldeo. That unicorn thing. November
Victini?
Is Genesect. Yeah, Victini. And
Genesect
December
is really nice.
Is Meloetta. Way to kick off the 20th anniversary Pokemon year with the best known Pokemon of all time, Meloetta.
It is.
Meloetta.
So, like these Pokemon, Victini, Genesis, and Meloetta are all from Black and White, the original Black and White.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, they were my favorite Pokemon of all time. Victini especially.
Yeah, I still remember that. I remember you loved the Victini.
Yeah. I always used to play with it.
But also, I just remembering this now, the new Pokemon Sun and Moon, apparently there's gonna be an online mode, where you can do a battle royale, and you can, fight Pokemon with, you can fight 4 people at the same time. Yeah, Pokemon. Nice. It's crazy. It looked pretty crazy.
You should see the fan art for Meloetta. It's pretty cool.
Meloetta fan art. Pokemon fan art in general is pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if that's a challenge or not. I think I've heard something like this. But I think if you can just put any Pokemon and just, like, add fan art, and you should get some cool stuff. Like,
Yeah. I like seeing those, like,
Ditto.
real life.
Ditto fan art. This is not good. Don't look up Ditto fan art. Oh, gosh. This is kind of weird. I mean, some of it's kind of cool. Some of it's kind of weird.
Ditto is,
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
Nice.
I'm just gonna look up the weird Pokemon fan art. Muck fan art. Everybody loves Muck. Muck fan art.
Oh, yeah.
Can actually be pretty scary.
What about
Okay,
Weezing?
that's not, once you see Muck swallowing a My Little Pony character, you don't want to look up fan art anymore, so... Let's distract that with another scary story, because what I saw was pretty scary.
Where?
Okay.
I need to see it.
I don't want to go back, so, let's go.
What did you look up?
I looked up Muck fan art. Fan art being 2 words.
Okay. Fan art. M-U-K, right?
Yeah, M-U-K. Well, I look for some
did you scroll
scary
down?
stories. What?
How far did you scroll down?
I don't remember. I don't want to go back.
I want to see it. Dude, there's this cool Ghastly one.
Yeah, Pokemon fan art. Pretty good. If you're a Pokemon fan artist,
I like
send your stuff. Send your stuff
I
at Send your stuff to us at I don't want to give my email out.
At Twitter?
At Sonic1203 at mailinator.com.
Melanator?
Mailinator.com.
That thing.
Is that a website? Does Mailinator still work? Yeah, send it to me at Sonic1203 at mailinator.com. And we might talk about how good your fan art is in the next Sonic Stories podcast. So, check it out. Did you found
the thing.
Oh no. Michael, why?
It's not that disgusting.
I know,
It's
but
just a bunch
just
of
thought
pony
of some...
characters
Okay, well...
struggling.
Oh, well, I saw something different. But the fact that there's multiple of them. Alright. So send us your Pokemon fan art at song1203 at mailinator.com. I will put a link to that in the description. Song1203 at mailinator.com. Okay.
Oh god, I think I see it.
So, anyways.
I'm so
Scary stories. Scary stories. So, okay, Michael, scary stories. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna find. This is gonna be the top scary story of the month. It's called. This one is called "Don't Come to School Tomorrow" by Michael DJ54.
Oh, that's me, by the way. I uploaded that.
Yeah, Michael DJ54. So, the title, Don't Come to School Tomorrow. That was the last text my friend sent me before the night of the shooting. Sorry.
Jesus.
Don't come to school tomorrow. That was the
We
last...
don't know that. Hold on, wait.
Wait, what?
So, was that a part of the story? Or
Yes.
was that just you?
No, the title. The title.
Oh, okay.
Is
the
like,
school shooting.
okay, don't come to school tomorrow. That was the last text my friend sent the night before the shooting. It wasn't all that surprising, to be totally honest. David, my friend, had a real tough time the past year and a half. Everything just sort of fell apart around him. His sister ran away from home and wound up murdered about a month later, chopped up to pieces in the woods. Pretty soon after that, his mom committed suicide out of grief. found her hanging in the bedroom, her face swollen and purple from the rope wrapping around her neck. Dad went down a dark path himself, drugs, but the same effect all the same. What once was a hard-working man was the shell of his former self. He never left their home and became violent and unstable in the 6 months. Wait,
Did you eat?
hold on. Okay, sorry, my mom just came in. That kind of disrupted things. Where was I? Dad went down a dark path himself, drugs, but the same effect all the same. What once was a hard-working man was the shell of his former self. He never left their home and became violent and unstable in the past 6 months following up on this. Poor David didn't know how to cope, combined with the fact that he was bullied at school, all the way back in 3rd grade. It was an unending... burped, sorry. It was an unending torment, and it seemed life went out of his way to get worse. I tried to be a friend to him. I tried to be his shoulder to cry on, to be the person he could talk to, come out to, but I guess in the end it didn't matter. Every attempt I made, no matter how pleading it was and desperate, how much I wanted to help him, I suppose, in the long run, there were things that I could have. I suppose in the long run, there were things I could have done. I could have told someone about the text, but I didn't. I could have told someone about the gun I found in his drawer, but I didn't. I could have resisted the urge to grab his sister when she was walking home, knocked her out, and took out my sweet time killing her, but I didn't. I could have resisted the urge to break into their house and strangle his mother, but I didn't. I could have resisted the urge to offer his dad drugs to cope with the pain, but I didn't. I could have stood up for him all those times he'd been punched, kicked, stuffed into lockers, and threatened for far worse, but I didn't. Or rather, I didn't want to. There's a reason for all of this, I assure you. A look into the human psyche, a chance to see how his brain ticks. Just a little question. How much grief does a man suffer before he breaks? As I watched the news reports the next morning of my friend shooting an inevitable suicide, I began to wonder, it takes a bit to break a person, but how much can they break? I look at my phone and pull up my next best friend, Alex. New baby brother, and his dog was getting it on in years. Could be any day now. Let's just find out. Dang, I did not expect that to happen. Whoa.
Basically his life is just a dark crapshoot.
No, it is. The narrator's life isn't. David's life is. And, like, that was a really cool... That was really, like, subtly... Like, it was really cool. It was like, I could have told someone about the text, and then, like, I could have told someone about the gun. And then, like, I could have resisted the urge to grab his sister. So, like, this guy is, like, this guy is ruining David's life. He's the one who killed the sister. He strangled his mother, and he hung her to make it look like a suicide. Whoa. That's just crazy. And, like, after the end, once David shoots people and killed himself, he's just like, I'm just gonna pull up my phone. Let's look at my other best friend, see how he's doing. He's probably gonna ruin his life. Oh my god, this was really good, to be honest. This was really good. I'm giving it an upvote. Well done, Michael DJ54. That was really good.
Why, thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm talking to the man himself, Michael DJ54. Okay, I'm gonna look for another one. Do you have a scary story, or?
I can find one right now. Hold on.
I'm just because I'm looking for one. So if you have one, I'll go tell.
You ever told the Smiley Man story to the?
You know what? I think I did, but I'm not really sure. I think I told the Smiley Man. This is a common thing in the podcast. Like, every, 2 podcasts or so, I'm like, did I tell the Smiling Man story? It's crazy. I think I did. I'm just gonna assume that I did. If not, you guys can check it out. Just Google it. It'll take you straight to it. It's one of the best scary stories ever.
Okay. Okay, I think I got one.
Alright.
Well, wait. I'm gonna make something new. We could do mind-bending paradoxes.
What? What? No. Wait, what do you mean by mind-bending paradoxes?
So we could like look up mind-bending paradoxes and tell them to the audience.
Well,
And
this isn't really
we're gonna be
the mind-pending paradox podcast. That might fit, but this is the Sonic Stories podcast, man.
oh yeah.
We gotta keep it
I
consistent.
forgot, yeah. Well, I looked up mind-bending scary stories.
Well, I have one right here. I read this one a while ago, and I thought it was pretty good. I showed it to some people at school, and they pretty good. I showed it to JJ. He thought it was cool. I showed it to Frenzy Freak. He thought it was pretty cool. So this is this is like a kind of poem kind of thing, in the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb. I can't do this. Michael, do you want to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Sure.
I'll send you the link to this.
The...
I'll send you the link, because I do not have a good singing voice at all.
Mary had a little lamb. Wait, it just starts with Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Doesn't there has to be a couple verses? Okay, whatever. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece as white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. She brought her lamb to school one day. The kids let out their loud jeers. The children took her lamb away, and Mary choked on tears. Wow!
Keep going.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was red with blood. She took its little body into her ear.
Okay, he broke out into laughter, but she took its little body home and swore she'd hurt them good. Keep going.
Okay. Mary knew that lamb's blood called things ancient, hidden, and deep. As Mary painted signs of old, never did she weep. Mary had a little lamb, it made her something scary. Now I dare you look in a mirror and whisper Bloody Mary. Wow!
Whoa!
That's so hard. Like the third verse, Mary had a little lamb.
Its face was red with blood.
Took its little body home and swore she'd hurt them good. Wow.
Jeez. So yeah, I think one more and a little bit more discussion about video games or something else, and then I think it'll be time to end the podcast. But let me look for one more. Looking for a story to read. Okay. I've read this one before, but, well, on the bus, sometimes I'm bored, I go to reddit.com/r/scary stories, and I read these when I'm bored. They're pretty good. I won't say the title to this one, cause it kind of gives the whole thing away, if you understand. Okay. So, let me just
imagine the title was just the story.
This is by OSO Brazos. And yeah, this is still one of the top scary stories on Reddit, so. Philip started the video clip as soon as Rose closed the door to the editing bay. Charlie Clark, the newly elected president's head speechwriter, moved on screen. He is familiar to the small group in the soundproof room. He had worked at their news station for 3 years before taking his current position in November of 2016. He was dressed nicely and spoke eloquently enough, but his hands betrayed his nerves. He kept running fingers through his hair, straightening his tie and sipping water. And unlike the president, I can say whatever I want, Charlie quipped on screen to the laughter of assembled journalists. But seriously, the goal of a speechwriter is not to tell the president how he feels. We are not in danger of running the world accidentally. It's to put the president's feelings, the feelings he was elected to have, into the perfect words. Say, the president is fuming over a human rights violation. The president is human. He's allowed to be angry. In fact, he's so angry, his commendable diction slips. It's my job to craft a statement that encapsulates the president's anger. It's the verbal embodiment of his sense of justice, so he can deliver that to the word. Philip stopped the video and spoke. As the Secret Service led us away from this conference, one of them pressed a paper into my hand. It was a code Charlie, and I used it as war correspondence in Afghanistan. It says the phrases made when he touched his tie were false. Philip played those segments. I can say whatever I want. We are not in danger. The president is human. Whoa.
So they're saying the president isn't human.
So, quick recap. This guy was editing a video of the president's speechwriter. Speechwriter said a few things, and after he watched the video, a Secret Service guy put a thing in his hand, and it said that every time the speechwriter touched his tie, he was lying. And so when he played back the parts when he touched his tie, it's, I can say whatever I want. We are not in danger. The president is human. And that's what happened.
So, deceptionist kind of stuff.
Yeah. I didn't want to give the title because the title was The President is Human. And I feel like that's kind of gave it away.
So, should I end this with a big scary story or no?
Well, we don't want to run on for too long. Like, how long is it?
Like, 1, 2... I can read it in about 5 minutes.
Okay, go.
I always hated the cold. Too many cold winter nights spent alone while my father, an unemployed butcher, blew our welfare benefits on booze and took his frustration out on me with his belt. I left Michigan 15 years ago at the age of 16 after a particularly bad beating and never looked back. Last I heard, about 8 years ago, she had taken living on the streets. Good riddance. Spent a few years in the military. Got a college education courtesy of Uncle Sam, and started a family of my own in the sunny state of Florida. Life was great. I had not thought about my father in years. I truly believed that the worst part of my life was behind me. I had the American dream, beautiful wife, kids, and was on the verge of buying our very own home. That all changed last year. Last November, my wife and I were nearly ready to sign the papers on our dream home. I worked as a home decorator, and I owned half of a small auto repair shop with an old army buddy. We were so close to signing the mortgage for a small, beautiful house. We were not to be so lucky. I can still remember the heavy envelope we received in the mail the day before we were set to finalize the purchase of our new home. Inside the envelope was a letter from a lawyer in Detroit informing me that my grandparents on my mother's side had passed away. My mother had died during my birth, and I had never met my grandparents. I remembered my father once telling me during one of his many attempts of sobriety that my mother's parents had hated my father and blamed him for her death. The lawyer's letter stated that I was only living here to a sizable estate. I directly inherited $700,000, a decaying mansion, and what was estimated to be $3.5 million worth of artwork and antique furniture. The only caveat was that I needed to be in the small Michigan town to claim the inheritance within 30 days or the sizable estate. Wait, no, hold on. Sorry.
It's fun.
I just lost my place because my mouse went all everywhere.
Oh no.
Within 30 days, or else
Okay.
the estate would become property of the state of Michigan. My wife was ecstatic. I tried to match her excitement, but failed miserably. I had done a hell of a good job building a new life to replace the broken life I had left behind in Michigan. Yeah, this was a. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Sure.
This was a shit ton of money, but we had what we needed here in Florida. My wife was determined. She believed that this was the jump start that her career needed. Convinced me that we should move the entire family into the mansion. She could blog about home improvement and interior decorating, and I could use the inheritance money to start a new auto shop. It was a done deal. I wish that I had resisted more, knowing what I do now. But my wife is stubborn as a mule when she wants something. So we moved. I sold my stake in the auto shop to my buddy and reluctantly packed up for the cross-country move. My two kids shared my wife's enthusiasm for the move. She showed them pictures of the place that were included in the envelope from the lawyer. I remember my oldest son Brian saying, "Cool, our very own haunted house." He was right. The place seemed pretty damn haunted. It was huge, over 6,000 square feet, and looked like it hadn't been lived in for years. The mansion seemed to have a perpetual fog surrounding it, likely due to its proximity to Lake Erie. The lawyer informed me that my grandparents had lived as shut-ins for the past 20 years. Their lawyer had last seen them 5 years ago, before they disappeared. A lengthy police investigation determined that my grandparents had likely drowned in a lake, possibly as a part of suicide pact. White sheets covered of all of the furniture and artwork, and a thick layer of dust covered everything in the mansion except for in the kitchen and master bedroom. The roof leaked in a few areas, and the yard was in dire need of landscaping. The only source of heat came from a huge, drafty fireplace which seemed to scream during windy nights. So yeah, my son Brian was right. We had a very own haunted house. The first weeks of living in the mansion were actually pretty great. My two sons and I would go out onto the estate grounds and collect firewood to warm the mansion. My wife started her home improvement blog and got to work on fixing up the place. I began putting out feelers for local communities in need of a good auto shop. We had one of the best Christmases in recent memory. My wife even found an old photo album, which had pictures of my mom as a child and teenager. I became complacent, complicant. It all seemed too good to be true. The initial euphoria of the move began to fade by the second month. The mansion felt too big, too old, and too goddamn creepy. It sounded like a giant awakening for slumber when fierce gusts of wind blew from Lake Erie and forced their way through every nook and cranny. I would toss and turn in bed at night, trying to shut out the howl and scream of the wind which seemed to come from deep within the mansion. Uh,
Is that it?
no, hold on. I was checking to see how much was left. After many sleepless nights, I decided it was time to use some of the inheritance money to add insulation to the mansion. I called every handyman and independent contractor in a 50-mile radius. Each one of them made excuses or hung up when I told them the address of the mansion. The area was still reeling from the implosion of Detroit's economy. These guys needed the business. It should have worried me a little that people seemed afraid of the place, but it never crossed my mind at the time. Instead, I made a trip down to the local hardware store and picked up a couple of caulking guns. And I will never forget the looks that the locals gave me. At the time, I assumed the coldness and stares were due to jealousy of the inheritance. When I look back now, I can remember that their expressions seemed to exhibit a wariness, perhaps even pity from the locals that suspected the truth about the mansion. I got back to the mansion and caulked like a madman through the night. I stalked through the mansion, caulking gun in hand, in search of gaps, cracks, and holes to fill up. My wife and kids slept peacefully through the night, yet I tossed and turned while the mansion tormented me with demonic sounds. Sleeping in different rooms did not help. Earplugs, music in my head, stuffed between two thick pillows, finally allowed me to get a full night's sleep. My wife suspected it was all in my head and told me that it was just the stress of moving back home after so many years. On New Year's Day, my wife woke me and told me that a blizzard was heading towards our town. There was already a foot of snow on the ground, and weathermen on the radio said to expect 3 to 4 feet of snow within the next 48 hours. I suited up to go out and chop in stacks of wood in case the storm lasted longer than expected. After 2 hours of hard work, I decided to take a break and head back inside. Another half foot of snow had fallen while I had been cutting wood. I remember thinking to myself that I would get the boys to come out and help stack wood while I chopped. On my way, I noticed paw prints in the fresh snow. They were big, too big for an animal, almost human. But who the hell walks barefoot in the snow? I was about to find out. I thought my, my heart dropped into my stomach and my hands clenched around the axe. Lying on the doorstep was frozen head of an old man.
Gasp.
Head sep- Head severed, cleanly at the neck. Blank, cold eyes stared lifelessly over Lake Erie, while his tongue protruded from the side of mouth. Twisted and permanent scream. Instant took over. It was fight or flight. I stormed into the mansion, feeling the surge of adrenaline as he called out for my wife and sons. A faint scream arose from the direction of the kitchen. I took off running and come upon an open trap door. Kitchen, the floor of the kitchen. Cold air burst through the trap door. As I lowered myself into the ladder, I found myself in a dark passage, illuminated by smoky oil lanterns hung on the walls. I ran through the tunnel with both hands wrapped around the wooden handle of the axe. Sobs floated up the passage toward. I broke into a sprint and soon emerged into a large, chilly room. My wife and oldest son sat in the middle of the room, shivering with their hands tied behind their backs. A dozen frozen bodies hung from the walls on meat hooks. Looked down upon us against the far wall. I
What?
spied my youngest son tied down to what looked like a homemade guillotine. I took a step towards the contraption, but an old man emerged from the shadowed wall and grunted, "I wouldn't touch that." The grizzled old man held a gun in
Oh.
the right hand and a rope in his left. The rope led up to the ceiling, where it held a sharp guillotine blade in peace, about 10 feet over the neck of my youngest son. I took another step towards my son, and the man loosened his grip on the rope,
Oh
letting the
no.
blade letting the blade drop an inch before catching the rope again. I froze. "What do you want to do with us?" I sputtered through clenched teeth. "Dinner," he said with a phlegm filled laugh. "A man gotta eat." For a moment I thought the laugh sounded familiar, but the man resembled no one I had never ever known. Yellowed skin covered with oozing lesions, black and broken fingernails, he looked like something out of a zombie movie. A strong gust of wind blew open a large trapdoor leading outside. The cannibalistic man looked away for a moment, and that was when I raised the axe and let it fly across the room. The blunt portion of the axe had smashed into the man's face, and he toppled backwards into an oil lantern hanging on the wall. His grip on the rope loosened and then gave away.
Oh no.
I took 2 quick steps and dove forward, arms stretched upwards as the blade began to fall. I caught, caught the blade in the palm of my hand, and it sank downwards, finally coming to rest halfway through the forearm. Ooh! I fought the pain and terror surging through my body and forced myself to grab onto the rope to pull the guillotine blade back up. My son was unharmed, safe for being drenched in my blood. Smoke wafted up behind me. The broken lamp had started a growing fire in the corner of the room. I pulled my wife and 2 sons to their feet and rushed them outside. I freed their hands from the bonds, and my wife immediately began to bandage my arm and hand with whatever clothing we could spare. It's almost done, don't worry. It's been pretty long. I began to
Okay.
lead them back up the hill towards the mansion when I heard an inhuman scream from behind us. We turned around and saw the man, engulfed in flame, burst from the hidden chamber. He ran haphazardly towards the lake, but slipped on the bank and fell face forward into the mud. He writhed for a moment longer as the flames continued to burn, and then lay still. The police did not arrive for hours due to but that by that time it had snowed over 5 feet. I do not want to imagine what sort of horror would we would have had to endure if I had we had been snowbound with that lunatic. The police chief of Detroit told me it was the most gruesome case they had seen in this entire career. The Detroit Cannibal, as the press called him, passed away shortly after the police arrived at the mansion from full body, third-degree burns. Police have been unable to identify the cannibal, but I have my suspicions. They were also unable to identify most of the victims, except for my grandparents. Police believe most of them to be vagrants, alcoholics, and drifters. My family and I are back in sunny Florida. My arm is healing, and I hope to be back at work in the auto shop soon. We sold all the furniture and artwork from the mansion, but we were unable to sell the mansion. I relinquished ownership of it to the town. Last I heard, they were planning to demolish it. We are still dealing with emotional trauma of this ordeal. The kids are young enough that they should be fine with the help of some therapy. I still have trouble sleeping at night. Even now, I'm plagued with the thought that it might not have been the wind that was keeping me up at night.
Dun dun dun.
That's it.
Dang.
Sorry, it was a bit longer than I expected.
Well, that reminded me of an actual real life story I've heard. This happened like during like last year, 2 years ago. Like last year around um it's called like there's like a bunch of news articles about this. It's about The Watcher. Have you heard about this?
I might have.
So basically, sorry if this podcast is a little long, guys. Basically,
Yeah.
this family moves into this house, and ever since they like bought the house, I think they've been getting letters from this man called the Watcher. I'm trying to find the Watcher letters now, but I'm trying to find them, but I remember I was watching another podcast and they talked about this. There's some it was actually really cool. Well, not really cool, but really creepy. Let me try and find the Watcher letters. I'm trying
Wait, New Jersey.
and yes, it happened in New Jersey.
Rat. Where was this? Wait, where was
I don't
this?
know exactly where in New Jersey, but it's this house. Oh, I can't find what the letter like the exact letters, but I have quotes from the letters from the Watcher himself. Um, did you feel? Did wait? Bleh. Okay, let me read this one. I am the Watcher, and I have been in control of the house for the better part of 2 decades now. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched the house in the 1960s. It is now my time. Have they found what is in the walls yet? In time they will. So yeah, they've just this family's been finding letters with these sort of things in like their mailbox. It hasn't been if I remember correctly, the letters weren't actually sent. There was an address. They just opened the mailbox and these letters were just in there. It was just like crazy. Will the young bloods play in the basement? Crazy stuff like this, man. Why are you here? I will find out. Stuff like that. It's crazy. Let me try and find some more. I am pleased to know your names now, and the names of the young blood you have brought to me. Crazy. So it's like this crazy stalker story, but the Watcher, it's just crazy. I remember hearing about this in a podcast a while ago, and I thought it was interesting.
Did they like move out or something?
They definitely did. So I'm not.
Yeah.
The house is still on sale. You can live in
really?
the Watcher house if you want.
No, thank you.
The things he says is interesting. It's like a family tradition to watch the house. Like,
Yeah.
and like the stuff he says, have you found what's in the walls yet? That was pretty weird.
That's
Stuff
weird.
like that.
But like, I saw another quote. I just looked it up, and it said, watching the windows and the doors allow me to watch you as you move throughout the house.
Yeah, well, that's the Watcher. Well, I think we should wrap up the podcast. Check out my other video. Yeah, sorry, it's a little longer than usual, but not long if you take in consideration normal podcast length. Some podcasts go on for like 2 or 3 hours, but so what was I gonna say? Check out my other videos, and up next on the channel, I am working on some Overwatch videos for you guys to check out, and there's still gonna be more Life is Strange and Lie Eat for you guys, and that's what's happening. Anything you want to add, Flash?
Subscribe and like the video, and
Alright.
that will make sure we know that you like it, so we will make more.
Yeah, well, that's the end of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm Sonic out. Thanks for watching. Cut.
Bye.